Hi everybody, welcome to Fab Hacks. I'm Rosemary, and today I have another Dollar Tree Organization Hacks video, this time focusing on the entryway. This is the latest video in my Org Hacks for Every Room series, and previous videos include some great organization hacks for home office, home/remote school, and craft areas parts 1 and 2. If you've not yet seen these videos and would like to check them out, I'll provide a link in the description box below. But for now, let's jump right into today's video. One of the challenges in an entryway is that it can become a magnet for piles of kicked off shoes. Now, if you would prefer to change this into something more like this, it can easily be done with some Dollar Tree wire shelves. For this shoe rack, I'm going to use 3 of the shelves, and then I'm simply going to zip tie the legs together. I'll apply 1 zip tie to the top, 1 zip tie to the bottom, and then I'll flip it over and do the same for the back legs, applying 1 zip tie to the top and 1 zip tie closer to the bottom. And then I'm going to just add a 3rd shelf, again with the zip ties, then go back and just cut off the ends. And then here you see the before and after, and the shoes are neatly organized, so now you can find the mate as you're running out the door. But if you don't have a lot of linear space, here is another vertical option using these Dollar Tree corner racks. For this hack, I'm going to stack the dish racks, one on top of the other, lining up all of the corners and these little side loopy bars here. And then I'm going to take my zip ties and zip tie the 2 shelves together right in those spots. So the 2 loopy parts on the sides, and then that back corner, and then this front flat end. And then I'll continue to do that. I actually did 6 high here. Same process, just zip tying them in all those spots. And then you can see how they create a great corner shoe rack. It goes up nice and high and doesn't take up a lot of space. Now, what's also nice about these is you can see how it easily fits rather large shoes. My son is a size 14 and it fits his shoes perfectly fine. Now, quite often I will get asked if these racks are paintable, and the answer is kind of a yes and a no. If you're going to straight up paint them, the answer is no. For example, this is kind of what will happen if you just go take some paint or spray paint and paint them. But depending on the piece, with a little prep and patience, they can be painted. For example, to prep this piece, I'm going to need to sand it down really well. And so I'm not only going to have to kind of sand on the surface, but I'm going to have to get up in behind each of the rungs and all of the rungs all the way through, and all the little nooks and crannies all over this unit. Then if I'm using spray paint, I'm going to have to paint kind of light powdery coats and multiples of them. If you want to use brush on paint, I would highly suggest chalk paint. I'm also going to take a 4-pack of these removable hooks and also paint those with the black paint. To create a wooden shelf, I'm going to use these Dollar Tree craft sticks. And because I just wanted them to have a little bit more color, I'm going to go ahead and also stain them with the Waverly wax. Now here you can see my painted piece, and then to apply the sticks, I'm going to just add some E6000 glue there to those bottom rungs. And then the craft sticks snap right in between those vertical rungs. To attach to the wall, I'm going to use that one kind of a loop that sticks out in the back, but that one will work nicely for one of my hooks, but I don't have a corresponding one on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and create one with a zip tie. And here you can see it hanging on the wall, the 2 upper hooks, and then down below you see where I've applied the 2 lower hooks. And then this creates just a great little shelf for your entry. You could use for mail, keys, and other items. Another great little mail and sunglass option would use these hair bands and a canvas from the Dollar Tree. All I'm going to do is simply add the hair bands to the canvas. I'm going to just do mine here with a black, gray, and white hairband. And then that's ready to just put some mail in or maybe hang some sunglasses. Another great option to organize an entryway is to create an umbrella stand. And I'm going to make one out of these Dollar Tree baskets, as well as the poles to these Dollar Tree dustpans. And to remove the poles, all I need to do is unscrew them right from the pan. Then I'll need 4 of those, and I will also want to remove that screw-in part, and I can do that by simply taking a pliers and popping it right out. Next, I'm going to take my larger wastebasket wire basket and just using a pair of wire cutters, clip off the wires and remove the bottom of the wastebasket. Next, I'm going to find that darkened overlap spot on the wire basket, and that's where I'm going to begin attaching my poles. And of course, I'm going to use some zip ties to do that, and I'm going to use a black zip tie. I'm going to thread it there through the hole in the handle and then through some holes and around the top of the wire basket. Then I'm going to take a second pole and attach that directly opposite of the first in the same way. And then before proceeding, I'm going to just add a second zip tie, probably about 2 inches up from the bottom of the pole, and I'll do the same on the other side as well. And now I'm going to just go back and take off those tails. Now I'm going to take a third zip tie and put it between the first two, and then a fourth that will go directly across from that one. Once all 4 poles were attached to the basket, I flipped it over and then added the small basket to the top. And then holding the top of the smaller basket and trying to keep those poles straight and in place, I zip tied each of those to the sides of the smaller basket. Then I flipped the umbrella stand back over so that the smaller basket is on the bottom, and I went ahead with some additional zip ties, this time going up a little further to the top of the smaller basket. So the first zip tie was more towards the center of the smaller basket, and now this one is more towards the top of the smaller basket. So it's going to be 2 zip ties per pole again on the bottom. Then I'm going to just take some of these Dollar Tree River rocks and put them in the smaller basket, and this is going to add some weight as well as some decoration. And then here you see the finished project without any of the umbrellas in. It's nice and elegant, and here it is filled with 3 of the large umbrellas. I could actually fit probably a couple more of the larger umbrellas in here. Now, if you are a smaller umbrella person, these little Dollar Tree storage boxes make a great storage solution. They fit in nicely into those, and you can even add these little Dollar Tree tags that you can hot glue right to the front. And you can even make a little rack for a multiple of them to go inside. So to make, I'm going to take several of these Dollar Tree cooling racks. Now these are the smaller ones that come 2 to a pack. They also have the larger one that's just a 1 for $1. But I'm going to use the 2-pack ones. And I'm going to zip tie 3 of those together. 1 zip tie to the top, 1 zip tie to the bottom on each. And then I'm going to take a 4th and count 3 rungs down. And then I'm going to put that one across, zip tying that 1 to the front, and again 1 to the back. And then I will just take that across to the other side, again count 3 rungs down, and apply my zip ties at that point on that side as well. And then in order to stabilize the shelf and hold all the pieces together, I'm going to attach a 5th wire rack to the back, and I'm going to first attach it there in the middle on both sides with a zip tie. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom and also kind of put it all back together again. It's going to slide around on you, but it can go back in place easily. And then I'm going to go to the bottom and just add a zip tie there to the right hand side, and then another zip tie to the left hand side. And then finally I will just bring those pieces up to the top, and then also add a zip tie there on the left, and then again on the right. Then I'll go back and cut off all the tails. And then here you see the finished project. I did go ahead and make a second shelf and then zip tied the 2 of those together, creating a unit that would hold 4 of the Dollar Tree storage bins, creating a nice home for my gloves, hats, scarves, and umbrellas. Now, if you don't have any available shelf space, here's an over-the-door option. I'm going to use 2 of these Dollar Tree pocket charts and 1 of these over-the-door hangers. In order to create larger pockets on this organizer, I'm going to go ahead and between 2 of the pockets down there on the bottom, I'm going to remove the threading that separates the pockets. Next, I'm going to take some packing tape and just tape over that area, looping the pieces of tape around to the back. Then I'll repeat that process for all the pockets on both of the organizers. Next, I'll use some hot glue to attach the two organizers together and create a longer organizer. To attach to the overdoor organizer, I did need to bend those hooks in just a little bit, but then it slides right on. And then here is the finished project hanging over the back of a closet door, and you can see where it can easily hold gloves, hats, even flip-flops, and some of those umbrellas. And lastly, we have a basket and hook option using one of these Dollar Tree hooks and one of these Dollar Tree baskets. To attach the hook to the basket, I'm going to thread some of these small Dollar Tree zip ties through the holes in the basket and then just loop that around the wire of the hook and do that all the way across the basket. And then here's the finished project hanging on the wall, ready to hold some mail and some keys and leashes and everything else you might need by the door. Now, another option would be to put some buckets there on the bottom, and you can use this as well in the office or other places around your home. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this Dollar Tree org hacks for the Entryway video. And don't forget that this is just the latest installment in my org hacks for every room series, which also has current videos for home office, home remote school, and craft area. If you like the video, don't forget to give a thumbs up, and please share with any family and friends you think would also enjoy this video. And if you're not already a subscriber and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you join the family. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on FabTax.